Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Short Term Rentals with the king himself, TJ Tijani. How are
One
you doing,
time, one
TJ?
time, one time. Listen, we're doing great. I'm doing great. Yeah, man. Just here and ready as always to educate the people in this amazing, amazing strategy.
And we're super grateful to have you as our mentor in short term rentals. So, today we're going to talk about location because we know
Mm.
that location is key. So, first of all, when you are investing in a certain location, have you ever invested in less visited areas?
Um, no, not when I do my research, and this research that has to be done prior to you making a decision on it, not only the marketplace you want to invest in, but also the property particularly that you want to invest in. And so I go where the traffic is. Now, that's not to say that these smaller markets don't do very, very well. Like, matter of fact, there's a lot of very smaller markets, what we like to consider secondary markets, that do really, matter of fact, outperform some of their primary markets, your main markets. So it's all in the numbers. It's all making sure that you do that research, but understand that there's still money to be made in even smaller markets that you wouldn't think, oh, why would somebody travel there? Why would somebody travel there? Understand that there's a reason. You know what I mean? So yeah, 100%.
That's right. So, when it comes to a less visited area, what were some of your strategies then?
So for me, when I do research to find the right area, we are we are looking at traffic. We want to see what kind of numbers what kind of numbers that particular market did, probably year over year. What kind of numbers did it do last year? And one thing that you should actually likely do, one of the ways that we're able to look at these and analyze these numbers that we weren't able to, when we first got started, because there just wasn't enough data. There just simply wasn't enough data. So now you can say, okay, what does this property did a year ago? And what did it do two year ago? Okay, so when we look at, so for example, we were just looking at this from May 2022 up until May 2021. Then we said, okay, what did it do from May 2021 and May 2020? Now, it's still, the data is still skewed because, of course, what happened in 2020, COVID happened. There's a lot of craziness. The market, there was so much uncertainty going on in the marketplace, but it's still worth looking at to see what kind of growth happened over the past 2 years. If the income in that particular market from 2020 to 2021 was one particular income, and then from 2021 to 2022, it's a growth there, right? We want to look at, was there growth in income? And that could be due to one or two main things. It could be due to just the increase in value, right? The increase in price for short-term rentals, which I think overall across the board, short-term rental rates are up across the board, average around 20% across the board. So yeah, so 100% that plays a role. So that plays a role, but also you also have to consider, could it be, what does the growth due to the amount of number of additional units that came into that particular marketplace over that year? I gave an example before about the increase in short-term rentals that happened in Houston just in 2021 alone. So you have to take those numbers, cross-reference it with the increased amount of income, and if that way you can really identify if that market is thriving, if it's stable, or if it's declining. Right? When you look at those two numbers and cross-reference those numbers, then you'll be able to really answer that question, which will help you make a decision on what market that you want to invest in. So these are the things that we look at, and what you'll find is certain markets that aren't as popular, certain cities that aren't as known, and like your Chicago's and your Houston's and your Atlanta's, certain markets that are lower tier, your Memphis's and your Cincinnati's. Like, these are markets considered secondary markets that still do very well and could be thriving on top of already known primary markets, 100%.
That's right. Because like at that point you're analyzing kind of like the supply and demand
Hmm.
that each of those markets have.
Yes.
So speaking of that, what are some of the other tools that you use for assessing the supply and demand on a certain area?
So I will. So if you are hearing me right now, if you haven't heard about AirDNA, this is like the one site that a lot of people in the game know. AirDNA is almost like this. It's like the site that is almost like running comps, right? Running comparables and comps for your short-term rentals instead of traditional rentals. Of course, we have like the MLS for the traditional rental stuff, but for short-term rentals, you can use AirDNA to help you run these comps, and you'll be able to like analyze what particular properties. You can actually break it down per market, cities, go down to certain neighborhoods.
Wow.
It's specific properties that you can analyze. What it does is it pulls data from comparable listings, right? Just like the MLS does. Properties that are same, like similar square footage, bed and bath, similar, and distance, right? They look at proximity as well, and they say, okay, these properties that are similar to yours, this is what they're bringing in on a yearly basis. This is the occupancy over the last year, over the past month. And you want to look at those other properties in that area to see how they're doing. You want to do that research. And then once you look at AirDNA, I like to say, go ahead and do, and that AirDNA's research, that's paid. You have to pay for that.
Oh, wow.
They charge you for that research. Now, I will say couple that with the free research. There's research that you can do on your own that doesn't cost you anything other than your time. So I would say go on an OTA, preferably Airbnb. Mm-hmm. Go on there as a traveler. Like you want to travel to that particular area that you're interested in. Go on to MapView as a traveler. Look at other listings that are similar or within a mile from that particular location, and start asking questions. Look at the listing and say, hey, how occupied are they over the past, for the next few months? What is the next month occupancy looking like? Mm-hmm. Is this listing even well put together? Do they even have professional photography or not? Mm-hmm. Are their prices stagnant or are they fluctuating, right? These are things that you want to look at. And then when you look at that, the free way, couple that with the paid way that you did it with AirDNA to really, really assess the area, assess a property. And that will really give you a good idea of what kind of demand to expect in that particular marketplace, and also what to expect in terms of income in that particular marketplace. And that way you'll know how to make a good decision.
That's right. You can start running all your calculations on the future profit that you could get out of your properties just by looking at those two metrics.
100%.
And now I know that there's some Airbnb or like VRBO properties that offer certain amenities, mm-hmm. like a pool and a hot tub. And quite a bit of investors have started to lean a tiny bit towards that just because mm-hmm. of the commodities that it offers to their guests.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on those amenities?
Well, I think that if you're listening to me right now, your goal, if you're looking to get into this business, your goal should be, I want to get into the top 10% in my particular market. How can my listing get to top 10% status in my neighborhood, in my city, in my market? One of the best, now there are a lot of things that plays a role into this, but one of the most important things is how many amenities do you offer? Right now, every host should be looking to not only be in the top 10, but how can I stand out? What makes my listing unique, or what can I offer, which could be monetary in terms of the amenities, which also could be just looks, right? What are you offering a theme? Does it look different than a lot of other listings? Is it offering something else that's pleasing to the eye? Like, for example, red stands out, orange stands out. Matter of fact, it's been properly documented. Airbnb fully supports this, that red listings that have pictures with a pop of red, like they 100%, they love those listings. Oh, wow. And they help you with an SEO boost, and they pop out, and it makes people stop. Reds make people actually like stop and at least like, oh wait, okay, I'll move it, but at least makes them pause. So wait, let me look at a few more pictures. It makes them intrigued enough to want to pause, even if it's a parenthetically pause for a few seconds. That's enough to help them make a decision. So, you have to consider things like that. And when you're looking to stand out, that would be my recommendation. Find ways that you can stand out. And one of the best ways to stand out is not only just photography and things like that, your theme, but your amenities. What amenities are you offering? I tell people all the time, as many amenities as you can pack into that listing, do it. As many amenities as you can offer, do it. If it does have a pool, do a pool. If you're rehabbing and you're able to put a pool there, put a pool there. There's a reason why Airbnb and all these OTAs, honestly, there's a reason why they segment pools. Like they give it its own category. Like it's that important. Like people can search, say, you know what? I'm only looking for listings that have pools. They can search for just that, and literally they'll X out the rest of you. If you don't have a pool, you're not even being considered. You know what I mean? So things like that you got to keep in mind. So this is why it's important. Mm-hmm. Offer as many amenities as you can. Things like a pack and play and a high chair, right? Remember, we're talking before about who you're serving. If you're serving families, because remember, who will answer a lot of questions. So if you're serving families, it's a good idea to have a high chair.
That's right.
And a pack and play there. And not only have it, what we do is we have it, we bring it in our unit, we set it up like it's going to be used, put it up nice, give it a nice background, and we take a nice professional photo of it and add it to our photo reels or photo carousel. Why? Let them see that you have it.
That's right.
More than the best thing that you can do for them to believe that you have something outside of just stating it is letting them see it. The pictures is what sells them. They fall in love with the pictures first. And so people need to understand a pecking order also in which people decide on short-term rentals. For the number one most important thing is the photos. The photos are the most important thing because they make a decision based on the photos, and the photos is what they fall in love with first. They look at the photos and they start scrolling through there. The second thing is the reviews. A lot of folks will position the reviews before the photos, but no, your photos are more important than your reviews. Crazy, I know. But the second thing is the reviews, and that's what they ask you. Because what's happening is they'll look at the photos, they'll see if they love it. They say, oh my God, the photos are beautiful. This place is beautiful. Look at me what kind of reviews it has. And the third place is the actual listing itself, the actual listing description. How well put together is your listing? Is your listing too wordy? Because a lot of people come in and try to use these big words and the quaintness and the atmosphere of something like whatever. And you ain't got to be that detailed. You ain't got to be trying to sound all smart or use big words. Be concise, right. Be simple. Understand that as human beings, our attention span is quite low. And it's getting worse with social media every day. Okay, so you got to make your listing to where it's concise. We love using what I like to call haymakers, bullet points. We don't even go into big paragraphs. We might give a little paragraph just to outline something in the beginning. Then it's boom, bullet points. All the amazing things about your listing. All the dope things about your listing. Pool, it has a pool. Free 4K TV in every single room. You get Netflix and this and that. Super fast Wi-Fi. You get 500 megabits per second Wi-Fi. Like boom, bullet points. Boom, bullet points, bullet points. Now, super easy to read. Super easy to digest and understand. So when people see, oh, damn, boom, dope. Oh yeah, that's a listen that they want. So a lot of things you got to consider. The pecking order is one of them. Pictures, reviews, then listing description. Keeping that in mind. And so, like I said, if you ain't take anything out of this conversation, understand that you should be adding as many amenities as you can in every single one of your listings, because the more amenities you can offer, the more you will stand out. 100%.
And you mentioned a couple of the amenities that, such as like thinking about the kids, also the pool. What other amenities do you usually offer within your listings?
Well, so, the ones that we own, we can control that a lot more, right? We can offer more things. Like, for example, we're planning on building a pool in one of our listings, right? If I'm renting from a landlord that doesn't have a pool, I don't have a choice. I can't put a pool there. So if we can control it, we try to add as many amenities as we can if we own it. If we're arbitraging it, it's a little bit different because a lot of times the big amenities that we want, we can't add it, but there's still other things that we can do, of course. If you're serving traveling nurses, you're by a medical center, make sure that you have a coffee maker, a quality one, not no cheap coffee maker, a quality coffee maker in there. Right. So you want to make sure you have those amenities. We talked about kids and making sure that you're kid and family friendly. The TVs, people love TVs. Do you need a TV in every room to be profitable? No, but we do it because we know who we serve. Right.
That's right. So
things like that are very, very important. Of course, like your normal stuff, if you're fortunate enough to have like a backyard area, if you're fortunate enough to have a space to where you can add additional exterior amenities that people can enjoy, then definitely do that. Like you should want to do that. Matter of fact, say you're looking at this whole idea, especially with amenities, it's important because almost like if you want to do a flip on a property, you're going to look at other properties to see, okay, do they have granite countertops? All right, we need to have granite countertops. Right. So if you look and say, you know what, hey, I want to have a $500,000 property that I want a property on short-term rentals bringing in $500,000 a year as a short-term rental. All right, what do other $500,000 a year properties have? Do they have a backyard area with a pool? If you don't have a pool, I doubt that you'll probably be able to meet that demand because they have a pool, and that's the reason why they're able to make that much money. Do they have an outdoor area? Maybe they have maybe they have an area, in the back and they have a ping pong table and they have a basketball court and things like that. These are things you want to look at. Like, man, is it worth doing this? Is it worth, you know what I'm saying? And honestly, people think that adding something like a basketball court is not that expensive. You just need the concrete. That's really it. If you have the space, you can build the concrete and put a basketball goal right there. That's it. You know what I mean? So it is.
And you already transformed your listing into family friendly.
Now you're family friendly.
Oh,
now
wow.
you're family friendly. So things like that. If you're serving large groups, keep that in mind, right? Keep that in mind. So when you are looking to stand out as far as amenities, throw everything you can at this listing to make it stand out.
The more you have, the better, I guess.
Also keep in mind, some of these amenities that you offer have upkeep fulfillment requirements, things that you have to make sure that you do to upkeep it. So as you add amenities, make sure that your systems are set up for it at the same time. Because make sure that you can update it or make sure that you can replenish it, whatever that amenity is that you need to upkeep, whether it's a barbecue pit, things like that. Make sure that you can take care of it. Because there's no point if you can just add amenities, but you're not taking good care of it. Now it's going to go against you because people are going to say bad things about it. Now it's going against you. You know what I mean? So when you add amenities, understand that you tend to usually when you add new things, usually comes with a new responsibility. And if you're not fulfilling that responsibility to that new product or item or amenity, then it's going to start working against you instead of for you.
That's right. And that's one of the key points I feel like that future investors should be looking at, which is to calculate the number of money that it's going to cost to actually add that amenity, plus the maintenance that it's going to be required.
Absolutely.
And now what happens if you already have a property, but it's not as attractive for Airbnb or VRBO? How do you make it more attractive?
Yeah, I would say for one, do a little bit of research. Do a little bit of research to check what other listings that are similar to yours that are more profitable than yours, how come they're more profitable than yours? Like, do that research. Look at what they're charging. They're probably charging more than you with the same size house, the same bedroom count, but look at their listing. Start there. Look at the amenities that they offer. Look at it to see if they have professional photography and you don't. Look at things like that. A lot of times it comes to one of three things. The photos are horrible. Their pricing is off. They're not pricing properly to where the competitors are eating their lunches because they're pricing in a more systematized fashion. Either that or the actual amenities and what they offer in their listing and the actual design, their style, and the actual physical things that are in their listing. Those are the three main things why somebody will be eating your lunch up over than what you're doing. And so do that research. See what other listings are doing. If you know that, okay, well, he has a quality couch. My couch is I picked it up from the street. Okay, I need to replace the couch. I saw reviews said that his bed was super comfortable. I need to invest a little bit more in my mattress, things like that. He has a nice coffee maker in his property, okay? My coffee maker, I bought the little cheap one from Walmart. I thought I was doing something. Let me go back and reanalyze my life. You know what I mean? So things like that, you want to keep in mind. So this person serves families, and you can tell he serves families by his listing and his photos. You serve families. Can't anybody tell you serve families? That's one of the biggest issues. Can't anybody tell who you're serving? That's one of your problems. Nobody can tell who you're serving. And people want specific things to eat. They want Chinese and you offering a full buffet of American meals.
Yeah, no.
But they want Chinese specifically. And you don't offer that. And that's why you're not making enough money. You're not niche enough. You don't know who you're serving. So, you can come in, you can be brand new. I don't know what's going on. I thought I'm doing something. But obviously, this mattress ain't comfortable or these furniture pieces are too dated. Like, it could be that your property's too dated. Your property just got old stuff in there. And this other person got the same type of property, same size. They got newer stuff. They're just nicer. And remember, times have changed, meaning expectations have changed. People want nicer stuff.
Right.
Airbnb is way too popular now. And people are going to go for the nicer Airbnb. So that's another reason why you may be in last place. So keep that in mind at the same time.
That's right. And from all of these many things that we should be improving into our properties, they're not that expensive.
No, they're
if
not.
You look at them, like they're just tiny, simple little fixes that can make your property be the best one in the market.
100%.
Then again, thank you so much, TJ.
No
and thank
worries.
you to our audience. We are super excited to keep learning more about short-term rentals. And we will see you on the next episode.
See you
Bye-bye.
on the next one.